Ah yes, the maze chase genre, filled with incredible classics such as Pac-Man, Ladybug, Choo Choo Rocket, and of course Amidar. Released in North American arcades in 1981, Amidar was developed by Konami and published by Stern. Stern also published other Konami hits such as Super Cobra, Pooh Yan, and Tutankhamun. The game is laid out in traditional fashion where you run around a square maze collecting items while avoiding the enemies chasing after you. In Amidar, every other level will either have you playing as a gorilla or a paint roller. Now I should mention that there was a 1982 re-release of Amidar that used hardware from the arcade game Scramble. This re-release also introduced new character names. When you play as the gorilla on the odd levels, you collect coconuts worth 10 points each. Once all the coconuts are collected, the level is completed, but be careful because you have Amidar warriors chasing you down. When you play as the paint roller on the even levels, your goal is to paint over all the segments of the maze while avoiding Amidar pigs. In every level there is a special enemy named Tracer, who walks around the playfield and eventually becomes more aggressive in chasing after you. Enemies follow a pattern called Amidar movement, where most enemies will move from top to bottom and left to right around the playfield. As the game progresses, levels become more challenging, and more enemies appear on the playfield. After every level, players are treated to a bonus stage where you press the button to launch a pig down the correct path to get to bananas for an extra 5,000 points. Now you might be wondering how you can fight back against these Amidars. Well, when you cover the four corners of the playfield, the warriors and the pigs will change color and you will have a short amount of time to mow them down and kill them before they change back. The upright arcade cabinet consists of a joystick and a jump button. However, the jump button is not used in a traditional fashion where the character jumps. Rather, when you hit the jump button, all the enemies on the screen will jump, allowing you to walk under them. Be strategic though in the way you use your jump since you only get 3 per level. Amidar was featured in the hit 80s game show Starcade. In episode 24, Amidar was playable for the first time on the show, and in episode 26, Amidar was featured for the first time on the show as a grand prize.
Okay, all right. Now, the only hint I can give you, and you might listen to this too, Herbie, is if you paint the corners, get the corners taken care of first, those little devils that are chasing you around will change, and you can eat them up and score some more points, okay?
Right.
All right, now, you don't have to do that. You know, whatever you want to do. You're the arcade guy, not me. 50 seconds is what you have, so if you're all set, turn around. You ready? Get set. Play. Okay, he's gone to the bottom left-hand corner. Looks like he's going for the corner. Oh, gotcha.
1 year later in 1982, Parker Brothers published Amidar on the Atari 2600. The 2600 version was programmed by Ed Temple, who also programmed Frontline, Looping, and the unreleased Cabbage Patch Kids Adventures in the Park. The 2600 version plays very similar to its big brother. However, there are some differences. You can set the difficulty switch on the 2600. When you switch to position A, the game starts at level 1, where 5 warriors will patrol the maze at the slowest speeds, and position B will start at level 3, with 6 warriors patrolling the maze at faster speeds. When you hit the red button on your Atari 2600 joystick, the warriors go invisible for you to walk through, rather than the warriors jumping and going under them like in the arcade version. Also, the warriors clearly change to chickens when you cover all 4 corners, and the bonus level has been removed from the Atari 2600 version. These differences and more can be found in this very addicting port. Amidar features a 2-player mode where you alternate back and forth for the high score. Now it's cool to know that there is also a tabletop version that was released in 1981 by CGL, and it features a flip-up screen and VFD display. Whether you're lucky enough to find an Amidar arcade machine out in the wild to play on, or if you end up playing it on the Atari 2600, you're in for one addicting game that fits in warmly amongst the classics in the maze chase genre. And dig this, Xbox 360 owners, you can download Amidar as a part of the Game Room Game Pack 12 found on Xbox Live. Amidar for the Game Room costs 240 Microsoft points. Until next time, this is Jim Combs saying, when a gorilla wants his coconuts, you best not stand in his way. See you next time on Video Game Saga's Vintage Play segment. Be there or be square.
Well done.